Hello everyone, welcome back to another video by Jane Rochester. Today we're going to continue with the making of 18th century historical undergarments. This will be the final installment with the making of panniers or pocket hoops. Pocket hoops are exactly what they say they are. Pockets disguised as hoops or hoops disguised as pockets. In this video I will be showing you the process of making these pocket hoops. And if you like this video, leave a like and also consider subscribing, because I will be making more of these type of historical costuming videos in the future. So let's start with the video.
Since I am going to create a robe à la française, I need a pair of pocket hoops to create the 18th century silhouette. The pattern I am using comes from the book Corsets and Crinolines by Nora Waugh. It was the most simple pattern I could find and the easiest to assemble. I started off by drawing the pattern in real size. The main piece is a rectangle with slightly sloped edges and has 3 horizontal rows where the boning channels will be. Then there is one pattern piece that is a half circle, which serves as the bottom of one pocket, and a square pattern piece that closes the pocket and lies against the thigh. The materials I used are a dusty pink fashion fabric that I also used to make my stays, red and blue twill tape that will serve as boning channels, lilac thread, and plastic boning that I salvaged from packaging from work. I started off by cutting the pattern pieces out of my dusty pink fashion fabric. Before doing so, I had to draw on seam allowances first. I cut 2 of each pattern piece. Panniers or pocket hoops are an incredible invention in my opinion. They serve both as a petticoat and as pockets where ladies could stash all their belongings. Furthermore, they are very easy to make and can be as big or small as you want. This way you can create the shape you want, whether that be small pocket hoops for a simple robe à l'anglaise or bigger pocket hoops for a formal robe de cour. When all the pattern pieces were cut, I grabbed the main pattern pieces and determined where the slit was going to be. It is important not to skip this step, because otherwise your pocket hoops won't be functional pocket hoops. By creating a slit at the top of your panniers, you can slip your hand in your pocket easily and grab anything you need. I cut the slit and then rolled the hem and sewed it by hand. I grabbed the pattern and laid it on top of my main piece again and determined where the boning channels needed to be by pinning the fabric. Then I laid the twill tape on top of the fabric and pinned it in place. This was then sewn down on either side of the twill tape, thus creating boning channels. The raw edges of the twill tape were folded under. The bright colors of red and blue were not chosen on purpose. Actually, I would not have chosen this twill tape if it would be seen when the project is finished. Luckily, the twill tape is sewn on the inside and you won't be able to see it on the outside. When making things, I always try to see what I still have lying around. The boning I used for this project, for instance, was salvaged from packaging from work. I noticed the thick and sturdy plastic in which pallets arrived at my work and thought to myself, actually, that would work great as boning. Fabric and haberdashery are expensive, so if I can make something from things I have in my stash or salvage from somewhere, I will.
So this is what the inside looks like with the boning channels. I mean, it looks ridiculous, those colors, but you won't see them because this is what it looks like on the outside. Of course, I still have to iron it, but just like that, channels.
With the boning channels finished, I could start with assembling the pockets. I started by folding the main piece in half and determined the middle with a pin. Then I took my pattern piece that is like a half circle and did the same thing. Then with right sides together, I pinned on the half circle to the main piece and sewed it in place. Slowly it will start to look like a pocket. When making pocket hoops, what you do is you essentially make two pockets that go on either side of your hip. To make them stay in place, you need laces. So I used this purple ribbon to tie on the pocket hoops around the waist and around the legs. To do so, I cut 4 pieces of ribbon that will be sewn on the inside of the pockets, alongside the lowest boning channel. This way you can tie a ribbon in the front and in the back around your legs. So first I pinned these ribbons in place and then started to pin the square piece of fabric in place to close off the pockets. Then I sewed it in place, making sure not to sew the boning channels closed while doing so. I turned the pocket hoop right side out and I rolled the hem and stitched the raw edge of the square. With the pocket assembled, the next step is to create a tunnel at the top of the pocket through which you can pull a ribbon in order to tie it around your waist. I started off with a rectangular piece of fabric, of which I sewed down the raw edges on the sides. Then I folded it in half. This is what the tunnel will look like. Now I had to pleat the top of my pocket to align it with this piece of fabric. I used wide knife pleats. Then I pinned the rectangle fabric on top of the pleats. The opening of the pocket, the slit, has to be 1 or 2 inches apart in order for you to be able to stick your hand in it. Consider this when pinning the rectangle on. It takes a little bit of time before you get the pleats exactly the width of the rectangle piece. But when you do it, it is time to sew it on. When sewing, make sure your fabric lies flat and your pleats are not folding in on themselves. You want to get a nice clean result. The tunnel is created by pulling the rectangle back and sewing it in place with an invisible stitch or a whip stitch. The final step is to insert the boning in the boning channels. I cut the boning with the right measurements and then I sanded the sharp edges in order for them to not poke through the fabric. As I mentioned earlier, I salvaged this plastic boning from packaging at work. It is really sturdy and easily bendable, so I thought it would work great for my historic projects. If you have done the same steps for the other pocket, you now have 2 pocket hoops and you just need to pull the ribbon through the 2 tunnels and your 18th century petticoat is finished.
I hope you enjoyed watching me make these 18th century panniers or pocket hoops. It is so fun to see the whole ensemble together, and I haven't even made the gown yet. So thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye!